New Orleans had a plan to give almost every household a recycling bin at no immediate cost to the city. So why did the city council kill the program? They say it's because of the budget deficit and cash flow issues. But before the plan was killed, it was opposed by some of the city's largest contractors, waste haulers, especially Sydney Torres of Ivy Waste. Hello, I'm Katie Jane Fernelius. I'm a journalist in New Orleans covering City Hall, and I've been digging into how and why city leaders killed this fully funded universal recycling program. Just to give a lay of the land, right now recycling is opt-in, and a little less than half of residents actually sign up, which means New Orleans has an abysmally low rate of recycling. Because of that, the city went after outside money to universalize recycling and educate people on how best to do it. And it actually got over $5 million from the Environmental Protection Agency and a national group called the Recycling Partnership. With that money, the city planned to purchase 83,000 new bins, deliver them to residents, and launch a big education and outreach campaign. The one thing it needed to roll this out was city council approval of the contract to buy those bins. But that didn't happen. Instead, as city officials prepared to roll out this program, they faced fierce opposition from Sydney Torres and Ivy Waste. Torres argued that the universal recycling program would unload tens of thousands of new bins into a community where people didn't want them and wouldn't know how to use them. He also argued that there is not a plan in place for the program. What he didn't emphasize is that this program would have increased the workload for waste haulers like him without increasing their pay. Under the current contracts, haulers are already paid to collect recycling from all eligible locations in their areas, whether or not those residents opt in. In short, universal recycling would mean more work for the same money. Behind the scenes, Torres pushed hard. I got a hold of notes and messages from internal meetings he had with city officials that show him telling them that he would fight this project all the way through. On a different occasion, he indicated to city employees involved in the program that he'd spoken with council members and expected them to do what they say they would. The council deferred a planned vote on the program that same day. Keep in mind, Torres is also a major political contributor, giving tens of thousands of dollars to candidates running for the city council and throwing his support behind Helena Moreno's mayoral campaign last year. Still, city officials involved in the program hope that the council would ultimately approve the contract against the wishes of Torres and recognize that this was free money for universal recycling. But the contract vote was deferred again and again, from September 2025 into February of this year, when a staffer for Council President J.P. Morrell wrote to officials involved in the Universal Recycling Project and told them it was dead in the water. For me, this raises some big questions. When residents are told that the city can't afford something, whose math is actually driving that decision? When a fully funded recycling expansion program gets shelved, is that really about policy and budget constraints or about protecting existing contracts? I'm not saying haulers shouldn't have a say. They're doing the work on the ground. But we should ask whether major shifts in city services should be driven by open debate at council meetings or by behind-the-scenes conversations with contractors. If the council is going to walk away from universal recycling, residents deserve to know whether that choice reflects their interests or the contractors. If you want to learn more, go to veritenews.org and read my latest story. I go deeper on Sydney Torres, campaign finance, and every council meeting about this initiative. I hope you'll check it out.